Hello friends, it's Spider here again. I'm going to try and not rant too much about the big trucks. I'm going to try and be a little more educational with this video. The other day I got into a discussion on a friend of mine's page on Facebook and was explaining about hidden taxes that I see in the industry that I work in. A lot of folks don't know that they pay these taxes at the cash register in the price of the product before it's ever rung up with sales tax on it. If you look around the room right now, everything you see was brought to you by a big truck. At some point, it was on a big truck. Now, if you look at certain items that, even the stuff your house is constructed of, the building that you live in, whether it's an apartment, a house, mobile home, whatever, all the materials was hauled on a big truck. The raw materials was hauled 2 or 3 times before it became a finished product of your home. So you got to add all these transportation costs into the finished price of the product. And that's the way the businesses do. That's part of their overhead is transportation cost. Well, now I'm fixing to break down a little bit of the transportation cost to you. Just on one single truck alone, in 2007, was $14,000 on average. Now some trucks, pay a little more, some pay a little less, depending on the miles they run and what they haul. Now let's go a little deeper into this. Before you can even buy a license plate, you have to pay a federal highway use tax that only heavy vehicles have to pay, $550 a year. Then you get to buy the license plate that goes on the front of the truck. And that's around $1,700 on average. Some a little more, some a little less, depending on, where the regions they run, whether they're tagged for all 48 continental states or just certain areas. You can pull a tag receipt out on your car and look at all the different taxes that your state charges, like school tax, whatever the various taxes are that the states charge for a license plate. Big trucks pay all of that on a higher level. Well, that's part of the overhead for operating the truck. So that gets distributed through the freight throughout the year. There's 18 tires on a truck. They average around $300 a piece. And the federal excise tax on them is 9 cents per pound if the tire will carry a gross weight of over 3,500 pounds. Most trucks are tagged for 80,000 pounds. If they're 18-wheelers. Some with, less axles get tagged for lighter weights. Don't need as many tires. But federal highway use tax is 9 cents per pound on the tires. Then you've got diesel fuel, because you got to have something to make it go down the road. California is 76.9 cents per gallon in taxes on 1 single gallon of diesel fuel. Alabama is 46.9 cents. Alabama is in the bottom 10 by state taxes on fuel. They're in the top 10 for municipalities adding taxes to the fuel. That's your local city governments and county governments. that add taxes at the pump. Now, if you look at the charts, the states with the highest amount of fuel tax, like California, are controlled by Democrats. The states that have the most regulations and are the hardest on trucks to stay in compliance and cost the most to operate in are controlled by Democrats. They see big trucks as a source of revenue. And then we get into the EPA and all of their restrictions and requirements on the diesel engines in the truck. We now have catalytic converters on big trucks. They have a third tank, and it's for diesel exhaust fluid. I called a local truck stop, and for a 2-gallon jug of diesel exhaust fluid is $32.90 before the local sales tax is added to it. Well, state and local sales tax. They combine that at the cash register. All of this is added to the overhead of the truck. Now, when we get back to the diesel fuel, each truck some have 50-gallon tanks on them. They're for local deliveries and not going very far. But a lot of the road trucks you see have dual 150-gallon tanks. Some of the owner-operators have 4 150-gallon tanks. They can carry up to 600 gallons of fuel. With fuel at over $4 a gallon, you can imagine what it would cost to fill one of those trucks up. And they have to if they're going to run them. Those tanks have to get filled up to be able to put the products that you want on the shelf for you to be able to purchase it when you want it. The state and federal governments have seen transportation as a source of revenue. Diesel trucks do not receive any subsidies or tax breaks. Yeah, they get to write a lot of this off on their taxes, but they don't receive tax breaks like a lot of the other companies do. You might want to look into how your personal congressman at state and federal level have voted on these taxes. Call them and ask them how they feel about repealing some of these taxes, because every bit of this is spread out over the year per load for each individual truck. And each time that product goes on a truck, that price is added to it again. That's why the items are so expensive at the store when you see them sitting on the shelf and you wonder why they're going up so much. Look at the price of diesel fuel and find out what kind of taxes that the trucks are paying in your state to put those items on the shelf for you to purchase. Find out just who voted for and against these taxes. This is just another way for them to backdoor us with taxes that nobody knows about unless you're in the industry. Just a little something for you to think about with the upcoming elections. Check out your congressman. Find out if they're really protecting you, or if they're backdooring you with taxes through the transportation industry. Because all this is overhead for a single truck, and each one of those trucks has to make a little money. Or it can't stay on the road if it doesn't make a profit. And now I haven't even got into the driver's pay and what the drivers go through staying out for a couple of 3 weeks at a time away from their families to make sure that these items are on the shelf for you. And the kind of life that they live that nobody knows about. Truck driving is a culture all to itself. It's a lifestyle all to itself. So the next time you see a truck trying to make a turn on a tight intersection, think about it. He's putting something on the shelf for you to buy. He's there for your convenience. He's doing you a favor. Be kind to him. Y'all think about this. Do a little more research on your own. Vet your candidates very carefully. Y'all have a good day. See you next time.